Hello and welcome to the Inbetween Podcast. I'm your usual host, Joe Scorn. I'm joined here by Tony Tones RT. Tony, it's bloody hot at the minute. We are in summer
Yeah,
in
heat wave.
the UK, and man, has it been all of my time so far has been spent playing the Switch 2. I have been
Yep.
cycling and swimming. That's like most of what I do. And then Steam has the Steam has the cojones. It's not just swimming, Tony. It's like we finally got a heater after not having one for like the past like 15 years because it broke and we were too cheap to fix it. And it's been lovely. Like it gets up to like 30 degrees. Like going swimming in the pool when there was no heater, you would have to like take a shot of Dutch courage and then jump in the pool, and if you stopped moving, you would freeze to death. Now it's like I can just sit in the pool and I'm just chilling.
I would love to freeze to death compared to what I hate the. Like, I don't deal with heat very well. I've just been dead. Like it's been 3 weeks since the podcast now.
Well, I love the heat. Like I went cycling today in like the 33 degrees heat. I was just like, yeah, it's cool. And then because I know I can just come back and I've got I go straight in the pool and then I turn my AC on and cool down. So yeah, basically I've been playing the Switch 2 because it's Switch 2 month, and Steam has the balls to say it's the middle of summer, you should stay inside and play some Steam games, and I'm like, okay. So I did check out. I have been checking out some of the Steam Next Fest demos. I picked out one that I thought you might be interested in talking about because obviously we need to. I think I played like 18, 19 demos, so not the normal 30, 40 that I play sometimes. But I've basically, when it comes to Steam Next Fest now, I've pretty much been going like skipping all story unless it looks interesting. If your game doesn't take me immediately, off to the next game, sort of thing. I'm trying to be as harsh as possible because I feel like I waste so much time with Steam demos in the past, and pretty much with this Steam Next Fest, I would say like I had like 4 or 5 games that I looked at and said, yeah, I'll probably like these, and then I went and I played a bunch of games that weren't those, and it was like, yeah, I kind of liked the 4 or 5 I thought I was going to like, and I didn't really like the rest. So, and I've heard from other people they felt similar ways as well. It was just like there wasn't like a Balatro or something like that where it's just like this crazy game came out of nowhere. It's just like there's a couple of new Devolver Digital games. I played the demo for Stellar Blade, so I've played Stellar Blade now, which I wrote down. I was like, Tony might be interested in talking about Stellar Blade. I'm still been playing Mario Kart World, which I realized was really fucking loud last week because I had it set up on my OBS. The level I listened to it at was different to the level it was outputting into OBS. So that entire time we were talking, you were just hearing like wahoo, like driving sounds. If you were watching or listening to the podcast, I'm so sorry. Yeah. I genuinely had no idea. But on Mario Kart World, I think I've just hit the 20-hour mark. So it's 40-hour. I mean, I've just hit the 25-hour mark on another game, which is not loading at the minute for some reason. Okay, I should be oh yeah, there we go. 40 hours on Mario Kart World. So what I've been doing is I've done all the Grand Prix, so I've unlocked all the characters. Then I'll just load it up. I've unlocked all the skins for the characters I've unlocked. Because once you've done all the Grand Prix, then you can unlock the secret course, which is, spoiler alert, Rainbow Road.
I've never guessed that one.
Yeah, there's a Rainbow Road in a Mario Kart game.
I just want to say, I like the Rainbow Road. I just feel like it's missing like real rainbow section. I just like go for like it has like. I guess nostalgia for other like older Rainbow Roads, but like I just feel like it's missing the classic, just pure rainbows.
Yeah, and I'm not playing Mario Kart World right now. And I've done so. I should not play this game while doing the podcast. It's dangerous for my attention span. But yeah, so basically, what I wanted to show you was I just need to select a random character here. I've done.
Is there a random button?
The random things for the... Oh, is there a random button for a racer? No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
You have. I think you have to
cool,
specifically select a racer. Yeah, like the
Right.
question mark is just for ones I haven't unlocked, and I can get into that in a second. It doesn't matter. But yeah, you need to basically beat all of the Grand Prix. I don't think you have to come first. You just need to place. So you just need to play them, and then you can unlock the Special Cup, which then you go to Peach's Stadium, and it ends in Rainbow Road. Rainbow Road is like 5 laps now. It's like they went like all out with Rainbow Road in this game. They went like you go into the clouds and there's like flashing lights everywhere. And I'm like, okay, this is their big like HDR showpiece. Like, look at these bright flashing lights. Then I've done all of the, because I usually play Knockout Tour single player, which is pretty cool. I usually play Knockout Tour online, but there's a single player version, and you have to place top 4, I think, in order to, as one of the requirements. So I've beat all the Knockout Tours on single player, and then I think you need to get like 10 collectibles, like coins, P-switches, and the question mark blocks in the overworld, and that allows you to unlock mirror mode, so you can play the mirror mode versions of all the tracks, which is really, really cool. And I thought, my friend was saying, hey, this will never affect you because you pretty much only play Knockout Tour and Free Roam. One really awesome thing they didn't have to do, which I think is so cool, if you go to Peach's Castle, there is the castle from like Mario 64, right? Where you can, and in Mario 64, you would jump into paintings and windows and stuff in order to go into different levels, right?
Yeah.
Once you've unlocked mirror mode in the by doing all the challenges, you can free roam in mirror mode by driving into the window in Peach's Castle, which I was like, that is fucking awesome. Everything's backwards now.
Yeah.
Which immediately broke my brain, because I was like, oh, I want to go to the snow area, and I was like, wait a minute, why is Airship Fortress on the left side of the map? Everything's mirrored. Like, even if you play as Luigi, the L on his cap is backwards, for example. So like, yeah,
that's insane.
It's pretty cool. But pretty much, I've got all the with Mario Kart World, I've got all the unlockables. Outside of, I'm working on getting all the question mark switches from these because I can track that. I'm trying to get as many Peach coins and P-switches as I can. I've got like 200 plus. I don't know how many there is. I think there's like 300 maybe plus or something. So I still love doing the free roam in this mode. I'm excited for Donkey Kong, but I will keep playing this.
Yeah.
And
I do wish they did track your progress properly, like a lot of this, or I guess like totally. I guess.
But another thing, so
nice.
One thing that is kind of annoying that you can't like target farm is like if you see here I'm playing Rocky Wrench. Rocky Wrench is a Kamek power-up character. So Kamek power-up characters are not ones you unlock by beating the Grand Prix or are not by default. Basically, while you're racing, someone can get a Kamek power-up, which will basically turn everyone into a random character based on which map you're racing on. And if you get hit by that,
right,
you unlock that character. So, like, Coin Coffer, for example, is a Kamek power-up. So you kind of...
seem a bit...
I do have a couple of these, like Coin Coffer, the Dolphin. I think the Bee might be one. But there's some, like, really... Like, I think Fishbones, you specifically have to be... So the thing is, Tony, if you get the Kamek power-up, you can't be hit by the Kamek power-up. And it's almost like a useless item in, like... If you get it in Knockout Tour, you'll use it to get rid of it, but you don't want it. It's like... It's literally an item that exists for unlocking characters, and there's not really a good way to farm it. Or, like, do it in free roam.
Yeah.
You literally can't do it in free roam. Like, you have to play Knockout Tour or the Grand Prix. And you just have to hope, like, either the people you're racing against online use it or the CPUs pick it up. I have seen a method of trying to farm it by using the Joy-Cons as 2 controllers, and I tried that for a bit, and I could not get it to work whatsoever. by trying to like I was sitting there for hours, like specifically trying to farm this fucking Kamek power up.
Oh, you were. Oh, okay. You were
And
testing the strat.
Yeah, because if you get too far apart from each other, you get too many like bullet bills and gold star power ups. But if you're too close to each other,
Right.
you like it gives you like coins and shells, so you don't get the Kamek power up.
Yeah.
And then Mario Kart, if you're just racing a single track on a Grand Prix, Mario Kart has like a hidden like time limit. So if you're on a track for 30 minutes trying to line up your two racers, trying to figure out like the perfect distance for them to be apart to get the Kamek power up, the game would just be like, nah, race is over, you're timed out. So I was like, fuck, I'm not doing this. This is so tedious and boring. So hopefully the best thing I think they could do with Kamek power-ups after for the first like major update for Mario Kart World, they'd be like, okay, everyone's got the Kamek power-ups. Let's give a way for people to unlock them in free roam. And I think the best thing you could do is, if not make new P-Switch challenges specifically for the unlocks, just take some of the P-Switch challenges and make them like purple and be like, this is the Cam-Up P-Switch to unlock this character, for example.
You could make it per region, I suppose. Like, you could actually show it on the map and go, if you do all of these in this region, you would get this character.
But yeah, so I'm still playing Mario Kart. I played the Steam Next Fest. I've been playing, and Tony. So I don't know if I said to you, I got a bunch of Switch 1 games. Oh, I can't do this P-Switch mission. It'll destroy me. Because I was like,
you have to stop.
Yeah, let's forget my virtual game thoughts. Because there was the Nintendo Switch vouchers, so I bought a bunch of virtual game carts for the game. So I was like, you know what? I will pick up. I've always wanted to play the Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom games, and I have Nintendo Switch Online, so I can get the Switch to upgrade. They look really good. I know that I can like emulate Breath of the Wild on Cemu and spend loads of time setting up and get 120 FPS and change all the shrines around, and I can fuck around in emulators and do Tears of the Kingdom or whatever, right? But I was just like, I've been listening to the Nerd Nest podcast, and they were talking about TTG, time to game, and as you get older, time to game is so much more important when you're doing so many more things. I just want to be able to click a button and play a game, and that's what I've been really enjoying about the Switch. I don't have to set up like 500 things in an emulator. And like my friend is going through this right now where he's setting up some emulator stuff, and I was helping him through it, and he was like, oh, this doesn't work. And I'm like, how many games are you playing? And he was like, well, I'm just tinkering. I'm spending all my time tinkering. It's like, that's what I used to do. But now I do this crazy thing. I play the games. So I grabbed Splatoon 3 because it got the Switch 2 patch. I wanted to try Smash Bros. Because you're the fighting game. I wanted to play that. I grabbed the new Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom because I love the Link's Awakening game. I wanted to try ARMS because it's just such an oddity to me, and it got the 120 FPS patch. And then Mario Strikers Battle League has multiplayer, so I was like, okay, not a great candidate for emulating. Let's play the multiplayer stuff on that. And I was like, oh, Animal Crossing. I've never really understood Animal Crossing. Maybe I'll load this up for 30 minutes a day and just like relax in Animal Crossing and see if I can understand why people like this game, because personally I didn't really understand it. Tony, I've been playing 25 hours of Animal Crossing. I think I love this game.
That's insane.
I didn't get it. And then I started playing it, and I was like, yeah, I'll just play for 30 minutes. I'm like, oh, 5 hours has passed. Like, it's just such a like, it's insidiously relaxing.
Relaxing during tasks.
I was speaking to my sister today about it, and basically she was telling me like all of the things that you can do in it, and she was basically just like, she was like, oh, talking to you now makes me want to play it. And I was like, well, why don't you just play it then? She was like, no, we had to ban it. I was like, why? It was like, it was taking up too much of my time. I just can't play it anymore. I was like, oh, okay. Every person I've spoke to, because so the thing about Animal Crossing, I come into it from like a PC game perspective. I don't know what the hell is going on, right? And from my perspective, this game is really confusing. Like a lot of the stuff, I'm just like,
confusing to me.
I don't really understand where to start. And there's people in my, like, basically every female friend I have now has become like my gaming master. Like they pretty much they've just been like
Guru.
they've been teaching me like the economics of Animal Crossing. So you need to get up on Sunday morning and buy turnips, because if you buy turnips you can sell them to Timmy and Tommy for higher prices, and you need to keep 10,000 bells in the bank because you need savings in order to, you know, plant money trees, and then money trees can turn that savings into more money. So it's basically interest, and I'm just like, there's complicated economics in fucking Animal Crossing. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, I find it so interesting. Every person I've talked to about Animal Crossing has been like, oh, I loved playing this game, and then it's been like, I kind of want to start playing this game again. Because I completely missed like the initial hype of this game. I came in super late. Like 2020 was the big Animal Crossing hype cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've just been having a blast, just like cutting down trees, watering my crops. There's this like real satisfying loop to Animal Crossing, Tony, because not only are you doing like slow, relaxing tasks, but you're also being able to. There's a progression to it. Like every day, I'm like like paying off my debt. Oh, I'm going to. My house is getting a new section into it, and it's like. A lot of the stuff in Animal Crossing is like time gated, but it's not time gated in a way that makes me go like, I want to grind this more. It's like I play for enough and I'm like, okay, that's enough for a day. I'm excited to come on tomorrow so I can open my mail and get my giant question mark Mario block is coming tomorrow. My house is getting more storage tomorrow. The resident services is getting upgraded tomorrow. I can't wait to go to the museum tomorrow and hand in more fish that I haven't discovered yet. There's this real, like... It's a game where you can sort of stand still and do nothing, but also feel like you are moving. Oh my god, that's a rare bug. Sorry. I need this for the museum. I always fuck these up. Oh no, I hit him. I hit the tree. I think it's better to come on it sideways. But literally, like, I'm like, oh, I have a pretty good understanding of Animal Crossing. Because I was talking to my sister about this, and she was like, have you been diving yet? And I said, you can fucking swim and dive in Animal Crossing. She was like, yeah, if you buy a swimsuit from Timmy and Tommy, you can put that on and go diving. And there's a whole, like, underwater section where you can, like, gather weird creatures from down there. And I was like, I saw the swimsuit in the shop. I thought it was just cosmetic. Because this game just does not explain anything to you.
No.
Which I just found really funny. But the thing I found really interesting is there's no like Switch 2 patch for this. So I'm literally just playing the Switch 1 version on the Switch 2, and I think that is one of the big strengths of the Switch 2 is you can just play those Switch 1 games. Even if they're not upgraded.
Yeah, that's true. And when like normal consoles don't do that, it's actually really good.
Okay, so that's a wetsuit. You'll need one of those if you want to go swimming in the sea. Okay, so he is explaining as I'm buying it. Oh, maybe I should try. I need to turn. I'm going to get distracted if I keep playing this. We need to do a tangerine on Animal Crossing because.
Yeah. There you go.
Teach me how to use wetsuits.
I just want to say.
Has this changed your perspective on Animal Crossing at all?
No, I was about to say, it's like I look at you play it, and I sort of this is for me. I don't want to do these tasks. I don't want to. I think that's what I thought. I respect a lot of the design decisions.
That's what I thought, and then I played it, and then it completely changed my perspective.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the idea of like stuff being. So time game, like you have to do more and then go. It's like no, you don't can today. Wait till tomorrow. I like that a lot. I like the idea of this progression and like
because none of my friends told me about the swimsuit, and I was like, oh, no one's talking about the swimsuit, and she was like, yeah, it was a new update that was added in the past couple of years. So they are constantly like changing stuff in Animal Crossing and adding more stuff, and they added the DLC, which I have because I have the Nintendo Switch Online subscription thing. But I haven't been able to access it because Tony, I've been playing for 25 hours and I'm in the early game of Animal Crossing. And my sister was like, yeah, it's a long fucking game.
Yeah.
One thing I do love is that the game moves in real time. So I'm constantly like...
Yeah.
I'm constantly like in the evening when I'm playing this, I'm like, oh shit, it's almost 10 o'clock. Nook's Cranny is going to close. I need to sell my items before it closes. Or, oh, I need to make sure,
Yeah.
Was it? Saturday morning I get up.
was kind of like the. They're not quite as.
Wait, what was?
Restricted, like similar. Like some of the. One of the Pokemon games was like that. Or at least some of them were. But, like,
You could. I remember in
exactly
Pokemon, you could set the time and say what time it was, but I don't remember like time specific mechanics.
I think if you didn't do that though, I think it just looked at what time your region was in, and it just like matched that. But yeah, you could change it. That's like the closest I've been to like this like system of like and I do remember being like kind of cool that it's night time doing this. And yeah, I think that is an interesting system to tie it to real life.
Press A. Oh my god, I'm swimming. This is brand. This is brand new.
You're doing it.
Sorry guys, I've just discovered swimming. Okay, I'll have to test that out.
Very
a bit more.
awfully slow.
Yeah, I guess the idea is they don't want you to try and swim off your island.
Okay.
Anyway, we gotta do Tangerine on this because I have a lot to say about Animal Crossing.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
early game for me, you know. I'm at the 25 hours in, and I just gotta say, I was not expecting to like this game as much as I do, but I've become very addicted to it very quickly, and I hope to see more. Like, it's just interesting because there's people I know who I wouldn't consider like hardcore gamers, and then I look at them on my friends list, and I'm like, you have 800 hours in Animal Crossing. Like, that's crazy.
That's the lowest level of commitment.
But I guess there is just like a different world of gaming that I've not been looking at.
Oh yeah. Yeah. This is why, like, we know this is a complete tangent, by the way. But
yeah,
there's some people are like, oh, I want to go to Las Vegas to do like gambling. I just want to enjoy gambling. It's like, why don't you play a game that's not made for gamers? Like, that's what you're saying. Like, you're playing. You want to spend money for the experience. Why not play an arcade game? Or maybe not like shooty like thing, but like a Nintendo game. So I feel like a lot of people would enjoy that instead of spending money to the thrill of trying to earn money. Like, I just feel like some people just like.
One thing I wanted to mention before I came off this, so playing it on Switch 2 does have its benefits. One, loading times are faster. My big question is,
really good.
Animal Crossing New Horizons must be one of the most popular games on the Switch. Why does this not have a Switch 2 patch? Why does Smash Bros not have a Switch 2 patch? This makes me really sus that they're going to either do like a Direct in July and be like, okay, we're updating them, or they're going to be like, we're making a new one for the Switch 2.
Well, here's the expansion pack, and yeah.
Oof. Do I have that?
Yeah, I feel like that's more likely, but let's all see. Maybe it's probably just like harder to upgrade. Maybe like the games we see.
Oh, that's what I wanted to mention. So one big advantage is the Switch 2 Pro controller has the back buttons, and Tony, I've been using the back buttons, and it's really easy to program them. Oh, sorry. So if you hold down the home button, it's integrated into the OS, so I can just. I've got my left button to open my tool ring, and I've got my right button to open my inventory, and I've found that to be really nice. Especially when you need to like quickly pull out something, like when you're cutting down trees, there's a chance a wasp nest can spawn, and then you get chased by wasps. And if you're quick, you can pull out your net and catch the wasp and sell them for a lot of bells. Or if you're not quick enough, you get stung, and if you get stung multiple times, then you pass out and you go back to your house. So it's very useful to be able to be like, okay, I'm quickly going to my net, because I find it harder to. I constantly have my hand on the analog stick, and to open the tool wheel, you have to put your hand down to the D-pad in order to open it up. And I find it just easier to tap on the back of the Joy-Con. So, is the Joy-Con 2 worth it for the back buttons? If you have a Joy-Con 1, maybe. But honestly, Tony, I have Hall Effect. Controller that I use on my main PC, and I've been using the gliding sticks on the Switch 2 Pro controller, and the gliding sticks on the Switch 2 controller are no joke. It's fucking awesome. Okay. I really like the Switch 2 Pro controller. We'll have to see if they drift at some point, and maybe my opinion will change. But right now they're insanely quiet. They make zero sound, and they feel very nice to just move around with. So.
I guess the question is just how easy it is to fix a drift and how does it have to place the part.
let me get off this. Oh, I have actually I have played Fast Fusion since the new update as well. So I'll just read it out now. There's an update for Fast Fusion which is adding pure mode. And what pure mode is doing is basic, because when I talked about Fast Fusion previously, I was saying they were kind of abusing DLSS. It almost felt like FSR, right? Where they were just using like they were using like 500p internal resolution up to like 4K, right? But with pure mode now, you have a 1440p resolution, which uses no upscaling. It uses DRS, so it's just using dynamic resolution scaling. And
that's more typical.
I think it looks better, but I don't think it completely is like a night and day difference between the DLSS stuff. So,
right.
But it's probably the way to play. And they were also adding some new tracks in Fast Fusion. I need to play some more Fast Fusion, but I'm just still playing Mario Kart World, and then I've just become addicted to Animal Crossing. One thing I didn't write down, but I wanted to mention. I was playing Super Mario Party Jamboree because the Switch 2 patch comes out in July, right? It's coming out in like a couple of weeks. And my friend was like, "Do you want to play?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll just play." And we played online against each other, and the fucking lag in the mini games was unbearable. Like it was like we were doing the mini game where you had to go to the Olympics and you had to run and swim. And I'm not kidding you. It was on both of our ends. We were both playing on a Switch 2, Super Mario Jamboree over the internet. We both had decent internet, and I've been playing Mario Kart Online and stuff. I haven't had any dropouts or anything. It's been fine, and so is he. And we were playing Super Mario Party Jamboree online with each other, and it was like a slideshow. It was like we were playing against. There was two of us and two CPUs, and it was like the fifth person on the Super Mario Party board was the lag. He is the other element in the room, right?
Right.
Yeah, we restarted because apparently you can just save in the middle of a Mario Party game, which I didn't know because I don't play the board game ever. I was just playing the mini games, and it was better then. Because I played Super Mario Party Jamboree on my original Switch 1 online, and it was a bit stuttery and laggy. And I was like, okay, maybe it's because I'm playing through the capture card on the Switch 1. And I've been playing it on the Switch 2, and me playing it through the capture card and my friend playing it on his TV, we both were getting insane lag. So hopefully the Switch 2 patch fixes it. But because I looked it up and I saw other people online being like, is anyone else playing the Super Mario Party Jamboree on the Switch 2, and it just being completely unplayable online because of how laggy all the games are. So I've pretty much said I'm just going to shelf this until the update comes out, and if that doesn't fix it, then that is awful.
Yeah. I think there are ways to deal with that sort of lag and sort of wherever connection. Slideshow.
Yeah, I've also been playing Peak in the past couple of weeks, Tony. This is the new Peak game. Yeah, we've hit Peak. This is. Okay. Have you seen the? They changed their name on Steam. This is basically from Land Crab, is what they were called, but it's basically a bunch of developers.
Wait, they changed the name.
Yeah, it just says Aggro Crab and Landfall now, separately on the store page. Maybe they had to change it.
Okay.
But basically, it's a bunch of developers from Landfall and a bunch of developers from Aggro Crab. Landfall do games like Haste, which I talked about this year, Cluster Truck, Totally Accurate Battle Simulator, stuff like that. And then Aggro Crab is known mostly for Another Crab's Treasure, and also getting what's it called? The
Getting Over It.
I was going to say Getting Over It, but it's Going Under is what it's called. Sorry.
Going Under. Okay.
Which I also quite like that game as well, which is like an office roguelike action game. So I was like, two companies I really like, and they're making this weird, funny co-op climbing game. And I was like, and it cost like £3 at least when it on launch. So I was like, okay, I'll see if I can get a couple of friends to play this with me. So I played it for a few hours, and it was a bit buggy, being like one of the first days it came out when I played it. Overall, it was pretty fun, and I liked how like silly it was. You could like basically the premise is you're trying to climb up a mountain, and as you're climbing up, you can like put your hand up and help your friends up, and like you can slip off, and there's like, you know, poisonous vines that poison you, and you know. At one point, my friend handed me a blow dart, and I was like, well, I have to see how it works just once, you know, while somebody's trying to climb and, you know, knock them out to sleep. But it's very much, it's in that genre of like, you know, like Lethal Company, like funny slapstick games where awful things happen to your friends, and maybe you cause some of them.
Is it? It's always called, but like sometimes you just cause accidents and mishaps.
I thought it was pretty fun, and I liked the humor of it. I think that the humor of it and the difficulty of it were kind of at ends with each other at certain points, though. Like, it felt very much like a silly couch co-op game, but then also felt very much like a serious, like... Because the game is really hard, I would say, for the most part. Like, it is hard to get to the... Like, climbing the first, like, mountain seems to be, like, a challenge in itself.
Maybe they thought like failing to do something hard would be funny, or like at least.
Well, it feels like, and this is just me speculating. It almost feels like Landfall was like, let's make silly co-op game, and Aggro Crab was like, let's make Souls game, like the crab game that is like challenging but rewarding when you finish it, sort of thing. And they came together, and and it's like. The idea of what this game is almost different from how you play it in some respects, because I don't have an issue with it being like hard, but the issue is I was sold on it being like a game that I could play with some of my more like non-gamery friends, to be like, okay, we're going to have like a stamina-based climbing system where, because like you're constantly being punished in this game for progressing, it feels like, because the longer you play, the less stamina you have, and the more weight you have from every time you pick up an item, that means you weigh more, so you have less stamina. And it feels like harder, and it is very much like a roguelite almost, where there's this like mist that follows you up, and if you don't like keep climbing, the mist will come up after you and take you out, sort of thing.
Right.
Which is kind of annoying, because we played it in the normal mode, and I was like, that's quite challenging. And I found there was an easier mode, so I was like, okay, we'll play on this, and it was still like quite challenging. It was definitely easier after playing the harder mode, but it was still like, shit, like
you just want like a more casual,
because like we play
casual friendly, maybe.
The issue is like one of my friends would fall off and die, and when you die you become a ghost, and you like float around the other player and you can talk to them, which was really funny for like 5 minutes. But then my friends were like, man, it's been half an hour of just watching you guys play, and this is really boring. I'm gonna go. Like, I don't want to. Like, that was kind of shit, right? Where I was like,
I guess it's like Little Planet, where it's like there's like checkpoints that bring someone back.
Well, when you get to the top of the mountain, you can bring somebody back, but depending on like how long it takes, that could take like hours, right? And you, of course, you have this like constant like mist that's rising to come up after you. Last year I played Chained Together, and I found that game really fun in the easier modes, because there was these. It was tough, but you could pull each other up and help them, which was a nice system, which you also have in this. But there was like constant checkpoints throughout it, and there was a mode without checkpoints, but there was a more casual mode for the checkpoints, because I'm playing with several friends who are, you know, they're not expert at climbing games, for example. But I kind of wish there was more like of a less challenging mode. But it seems like based on, because this game's done really well, it's got like 1 million, 2 million players immediately in like the first week. So this game sort of went like, viral on TikTok and stuff like that, and people are like, I want to play the silly co-op game, which is cool. But then I'm worried a lot of people are not going to actually enjoy the overall experience of playing Peak past like maybe my experience of playing a couple of hours and being like, okay, that was silly, let's do something else. And I mean, the game's cheap. So it's like, it was like £3 on its launch discount. So maybe that's fine, but I think there's genuinely like more fun to be had in this game if there was like an easier mode. Like
or like more, or like maybe options to make it easier, like
because like when I was playing Chain Together, the every time like I tried playing by myself, I was like, man, this game's so much easier. And then like I was playing Peak, and all of my friends died after I got to the second area, and I was like, one of my friends died in the second area, and then because it goes like, there's a mountain, there's a poison jungle, then there's a snow area, and then there's a lava area, and then you climb up this volcano to get to the end. And my friend died on the snow area, and I was trying to spawn her back in, and I couldn't do it. And I was like, okay, I'll just keep playing by myself to see how far I can get. I'll probably die in a couple of minutes. And I'm like, I pretty much got to the end of the game by myself, and I was like, this was so much easier than doing it with my friends. But that's not the experience I wanted, because I could play a satisfying single-player game that is potentially better than Peak. The reason I got Peak was to play a silly game with my friends, right? Because there is interesting climbing mechanics in this game. I just wish there was a more casual, less punishing mode, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's my TED talk.
Always worth remembering the in different genres and players, the player base you have, like how varied.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say about them. What's next? They were saying like, look, what's next? We're going to be doing more localizations so people can play. We're going to do bug fixes, and we're going to look into merch. And I'm like, that's not what I want to hear. I want to hear, lower difficulties. Like, I understand bug fixes first, localizations so more people can play. That's fine. Can we do difficulties before merch, possibly? But again, they're trying to make more money, so yeah. That's my feelings on Peak.
Yeah, I guess if they did merch, they would have like, oh, it popped off, so let's like capitalize on it while we still can. I guess is the idea.
And then also I played the final update of Power Wash Simulator, which is kind of bittersweet because there's no more Power Wash Simulator, but then we also have Power Wash Simulator 2 coming, which we'll talk about because there was a new trailer out for that. It's the Muckingham Files 5 and 6, which is the final update. I've watched the new Power Wash Simulator 2 update. The new Power Wash Simulator 2 trailer, I was like, I feel like this could have just been in Power Wash Simulator 1, to be fair. It doesn't look too much different from Power Wash Simulator 1, but I understand that they want to not be published by Squeenix anymore, so they're sort of releasing a new game.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I've been.
I just think it could have been the you don't imposed by Squeenix, so it's like let's use this as a situation to like do something we couldn't do with the old engine or the old game as well, to make it feel like not as weird.
Yeah, that's what I've been playing this week. Let's talk about what I've been watching. The spring season is finished, Tony, so I'll quickly go over everything because I've already talked about these previously.
Okay.
But the summer season is starting like literally in a few days. There will be the summer season of anime, and I've already picked out a bunch of stuff I'm going to watch. Catch Me at the Ballpark, really good show. Not like, the must-watch show of the season, but, I was talking about the concept of last season I had, I'm getting married to the girl I hate in my class, and I'm like, this is not the best show, but this is a show I love watching every week. Like, I'm always smiling, putting it on, and back then I called it Joe Trash. It was like weird romance stuff trashy romance stuff that was like, your 7 out of 10 sort of show.
Yeah.
I think Catch Me at the Ballpark, I can't say it's a trash show, but I feel like it's... Somebody else said it better than me. They said it's like a comfort show. It's something I'm happy to watch every week, and they did this really cool thing where they made me really excited to watch a slice of life anime about people who just exist at the ballpark, whether it be the people who run the chicken shop, the beer vendors, the guy, like the Sunshiro episode about the mascot is like absolute cinema, like one of the best episodes. And I'm excited to see more of this. One thing I was really confused about, I feel like this was going to be a one and done, and it felt like a one and done because I'm not sure there's enough budget to do a second season of this. But at the end, they kind of just started teasing things like, there's going to be a new character coming to the beer vendor girls, and there's going to be what's going to happen between Ririko and Murata. Will their romance blossom and stuff like that? And then they just go, Finn. it's over, it's done. So it felt like they were sending like mixed signals, like it's over, but there could be more. So I was just like, okay,
Right, yeah.
Tony, I
Like they're
finished.
just doing the life
I'm
continues.
just thinking, can I show this on Twitch? I finished. Please put them on Takamine-san, which I found really
Right.
funny because I was talking to my brother the other week, and he was like, I was like, have you been watching the spring season of anime? He's like, no, I wrote a bunch of stuff down to watch. And I saw, please put them on Takamine-san. I was like, yeah, I've watched that. I had to change a setting on the Crunchyroll account to be able to watch that. And he was like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
because we share a Crunchyroll account. I was like, yeah, you might have to change some settings around. I don't hate the show. It's not. It's definitely worse than Ballpark. It's not like the best. It's not a comfort show. It's not like good trash. It's just kind of. I thought it could go somewhere really interesting based on how she's basically like this. She's almost like blackmailing him into being. Because I was like, what the fuck does being a closet mean? And it just turns out she wants him to carry a couple of pairs of underwear around for her. But she has this like. It goes into like the backstory of her being like, oh, we met as kids and you were really nice to me and I like you, but I can't let you know I like you. And it's like this weird like. It's almost like becomes a rom-com, but it's not a very good rom-com. My main goal with this show was I was seeing basically Crunchyroll got this show and they said, we're going to show this show. And then every week Crunchyroll was like, oh shit, we can't show that. We're going to delay that and censor it. So like every week I would be like, oh, what's Crunchyroll censoring this week? And it's like, I think if they want to show an ecchi show, you got to show it. Like,
What?
there's no point pissing around like censoring half the
Why are they
episodes.
censoring? Yeah, why are they censoring it? Where people know what they're getting into.
There was just some like, for example, there was a scene where Takamine gets, let's just say, some milk on her and
Yeah.
Gentleman's Relish, and it was so interesting to me, that scene specifically, because they did not censor Takamine's upper body, but they were like, no, we can't show Gentleman's Relish, we have to censor that specifically. And I was like, okay,
Yeah,
that's where you draw the
I don't
line.
Yeah, I just don't understand. Like, you know, like if there's already saying to like protect people, like could I not see what they want? Like, I don't see the point in any of this.
I don't know if I'd watch a season 2 of this, but I might. I don't know. Can a boy-girl friendship survive? Tony, at the start of this season, I said, I kind of like this. This might be my trash of the season. I then went on to be like, I fucking hate all the characters in this show. Please end. This show did a complete 180 for me. I went from like being like, I can't wait. Like this seems like it's your love triangle rom-com. This is right up my alley. To, oh my god, Himari is a fucking gaslighting toxic person. I hate her so much. She spends the entire show being so unbearably unlikable by basically. Her thing is she's friends with the character Yu, right? And Yu is lovely to her. And then she's like, Enomoto-san comes along and she's like, I like you and I'm going to be upfront about it and I'm going to ask her out. And she's like, yeah, that's fine. I don't care. You go and be with Enomoto because I'll support you as a friend. And then she's like, wait a minute. He's actually going to do it. He's supposed to be in love with me. I'm going to gaslight the fuck out of him and torture him until he starts dating me instead. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, it's just like, I don't know. Like, there is people that exist like this in the world, but like, man, is it like,
maybe.
I'm like, because Enomoto-san is basically like, I like you. And basically, Himari spends the entire time being like, I really like you, we should kiss. He goes in and tries to kiss her, and she's like, just kidding, you fucking idiot. Why would I ever kiss you? Ha 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 ha. And basically, like, is just like, and then absolutely torturing it. And then she walks out the room, and then she's like, why didn't he kiss me? He was supposed to kiss me there. What a fucking, they're like, and I'm just like, this woman is unbearable. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And like all of the supporting characters are fucking narcissistic assholes, and the plot is he makes weird like jewelry, and they want to support each other's dream. I don't know. I went from liking the show to being like, don't watch this trash. If they make another season of this, I will not be watching it.
Okay.
Apocalypse Hotel is finished, Tony, and this is probably my biggest surprise of the spring season. I went from being like, oh yeah, okay, I've never. What is Psy Games? Apparently, they make like gacha games. I guess I can see what kind of anime they make because they really haven't made much, right? They made like the Horse Girl show this season, which I haven't watched, but people say is really good as well. And apparently, there's also like a Horse Girl gacha game that goes along with it, so that's interesting. When I say horse girl, I don't mean like you see online. There's girls who ride around on hobby horses. I mean like cat girls. Like the girls are horses and they race in races, sort of thing. Which is pretty interesting. But
I'm assuming centaurs, but I assume that's also
no, not centaurs. They just like run really fast on two legs and have like horse ears.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Apocalypse Hotel, the atmosphere of this show is so like immaculate. It's very positive and lighthearted with just like the twinge of like depression, like something else is going on here, and they just ride that through the entire series, and it has such like a satisfying ending, and they could have gone like either way, and I'm just like, that is the way to end it. Like I wrote down here the power of a shampoo hat. Like a shampoo hat is a main focus of like a lot of the plots in Apocalypse Hotel, and it is just great. Like amazing animation, great characters, great story. You get to see like it's this weird like sci-fi plot where you get to see like how robots keep running a hotel when humanity is like gone. And it's just like you go further and further in, and Yachio is like, when will the owner come back? And you know by this point it's been 500 years since the owner has left, and you're just like, I don't think that, the owner of this hotel is coming back. But she's just like, no,
it's just
I have to keep the hotel going. And just throughout the course of the show, they pretty much just turn it into a hotel for aliens because aliens start visiting, and it's the most like space dandy aliens I've ever seen, where they're just like weird balls of gloop, and they don't try and make them humans. They're just like, I am a fucking alien, and what I do would be insanely weird for you. But yeah, like definitely Apocalypse Hotel is up there in contention for my anime of the season this season. Really, really good show. And I'm gonna be watching more Psy Games picture stuff because they are doing a horror anime with Netflix, which is coming out in the summer season. I'm like, fuck yeah. We don't have enough horror anime. And after, watching the disappointing Uzumaki, and this looks really interesting. It's about, I think it's about a boy whose friend dies and then suddenly comes back one summer, and then weird stuff starts happening in the town.
Okay.
But yeah, like I have faith in Psy Games pictures now after watching Apocalypse Hotel, so I'm excited to watch their new show in the summer season. A Ninja and an Assassin Under One Roof. This was a show I started watching and I was like, is this just Yuri bait with some like one-line gag anime where it's like, oh, Konoha-san just kills everyone in one swoop off screen. There's no action to the show. It's basically just, it feels very much like they're trying to imply a relationship between Satoko and Konoha, because like there is another couple in the show in a Yuri relationship, and there's basically only women in the show. There is no men at all. But I almost dropped this show, and then I watched episode 5 of this, and I was like, that was one of the best episodes of anime I've seen in a long time. I was like, that was really good. Like the tone of this show will go from one week being like absolutely insane, like Satoko will have a machine that basically enlarges her breasts, and she'll just have like giant breasts randomly for an entire episode. It's very like gag comedy, like this is really silly. Yeah. And the next episode, like, that was so fucking depressing. What the fuck? And it just kind of flip-flops between them sometimes. Definitely not the greatest show I've watched, but it definitely was more interesting than I initially thought for this show. Sure. So yeah. Interested to see if they go further with this show as well, if it will get a second season. Kowloon Generic Romance, one of my favorites of the season, is finished now. Yeah, what can I say other than with that? Because like it is a mystery sci-fi thing, so anything I would talk about the plot would be spoilers. But basically, it's not a generic romance show. It is a sci-fi mystery where there is a weird recreation of. If you don't know, Kowloon is a walled city that existed in the 90s in Hong Kong that was basically completely left to its own devices and became like this lawless place. And it's a show about people who are nostalgic for that, and they have this rebuilt version of that they live in. But there's this weird alien triangle in the sky, and there's strange stuff going on with Reiko and Kudo, and it's really good. I recommend this show. I think it's definitely a strong contender for anime of the season. So yeah, cool show.
Okay. It's one of the more interesting ones to me.
Lazarus is finished, and what I will say is, thank God it's over. I was watching this, and I was like, because you remember what I said at the start of the season? I was like, I watched episode 1, and I was like, it's Suricho Watanabe, my favorite anime director. They've got the action director from John Wick. They've got fucking Kazumi Washington to do like the OP. There's tons of like jazz music and stuff. This has so much potential to be good. And then the show went on, and I was like, oh my god, this is awful. The plot is inconsistent. There is no character development. There's barely characters. There's people just walking around doing backflips and punching people for no reason. The plot is to find Skinner, and they're never finding Skinner. They just introduce random characters in like the last couple of episodes and be like, oh yeah, let's just have a cool fight scene here for no fucking reason. Like, I think everybody else is on my page with this one being like, this is just garbage. And it's so disappointing considering like you've got Watanabe, John Wick director, you've got Mappa, the studio that does like Chainsaw Man and stuff, directing it. Or doing the animation, like it's well animated. There's cool stuff that happens, and they were showing like when an anime comes out, you know, or like a movie or TV show comes out, right? They'll have like promotional stuff where they'll show like art stills of like posters and stuff like that, and people are like, man, the promotional stuff makes Lazarus look like a show that you would want to watch, and then you watch it, and then you're like, oh, okay, this is Lazarus. It is just so disappointing because I just didn't think Watanabe can make a show worse than Carol and Tuesday, but here we are. We have Lazarus. This show is a fucking stinker.
Okay.
I do not recommend anyone to watch Lazarus, no. And that sucks because... And again, Tony, I don't know how much we're going to blame Adult Swim here, but Adult Swim is just hitting misses every single time with anime.
You think they're cursed?
I don't know. I just love that, like, every single discussion thread on the anime Reddit for this is just people, like, shitting on it. And then, like, they posted that they were doing an AMA for the, like, I think the production team behind Lazarus. And people were just like, you're brave. Coming here and hosting an AMA about this show. But yeah, I watched the whole thing because I'm a big Watanabe head, and I was really disappointed. So
what if they maybe side with people like they did the Red Light Media Shred? Like it's a very fun film, a very fun series. But what made you go completely off the rail?
It's not a fun series, and it felt like
No.
I was talking about Carol and Tuesday, and it felt very much like fuck Trump. This show was very much like fuck AI the entire time, and I was just like, okay, you can see where you're going with this. But yeah, maybe.
Nothing to say.
Yeah, maybe just Watanabe needs to work on something smaller, and we'll see if he's still got it. But Lazarus ain't it. This it's not good. My Hero Academia Vigilantes is just finished. I watched the last episode today. I think it's better than the main My Hero Academia series, honestly. And I think you could watch this without having watched My Hero Academia. There is a bunch of characters from My Hero Academia that come into it as cameos. But if you didn't know who they were before you watched this, you would still understand what was going on. Yeah. Like, I like that. Good. Like, when I see those characters and I go, oh, right, you get to meet Ingenium's brother. That's really cool, because you don't really get to see that stuff in the mainline My Hero stuff. But, like, My Hero Academia final season of the mainline stuff is finishing, I think, this autumn season. So, and we have confirmed there will be a season 2 of this coming out next year. So when My Hero Academia is finished, there's going to be more Vigilantes, and I'm excited to watch it because I love that our Vigilantes just kind of fucking suck. It's My Hero Academia is all about I'm Deku, I'm really fucking annoying, I'm going to inherit the most OP power in the world and be a crybaby, and I have to be the one that saves the entire world. The Crawler is like, I have the ability to glide on the floor, and I'm going to stop this guy who's been going around my hometown stealing panties. That's his like main goals in this. Or Pop Step is like, I want to be a small-time idol in my town, and I'm going to... One of the main plot points of this series is she's going to perform a concert. That is like... And like, I want to talk about Knuckle Duster. I think Knuckle Duster may be one of my favorite characters now, but he gets like... Knuckle Duster is like literally Batman, and he gets so many cool moments in this series, and I don't want to spoil it, but like, there's some emotional stuff with Knuckle Duster, and I really enjoyed that. So yeah. I was almost tearing up at the end of My Hero Academia Vigilantes. Like, I think I would recommend this to anyone, and even if you've not watched My Hero Academia. So, so Witch Watch is still going on, Tony. It's basically they've done what's called the first core. So, the first 13 episodes are done, and they're going to do another 13 episodes. So it'll carry on into the summer season. So there's 26 episodes overall. But yeah. One of the biggest crimes, though, they've changed the trailer for the second core, so there's no longer Watch Me by Yosabi. There's a new OP for the second half of season 1. So maybe I'll get used to it, but I fucking love Yosabi. And when you watch like half of Freerun and it goes from Yosabi Freerun OP to the second OP, I was like, I'm skipping the intro now. I'm not even watching this. How dare you take away the OP?
Yeah, I feel like you just don't need to change it. It's fine to just leave it, right? I don't know. Yeah.
Well, the new OP feels very much like... It feels very much now with like anime intros, when we live in the world of social media, OPs now are trying to be like, what's an anime opening that will be a catchy song or a catchy dance that can get viral on TikTok? Because that's what happened with like Mashal, with the fucking intro for OP2, where it was like the squeaky stuff, right?
Right.
That song got really popular. The bing bom bom bim bom bom bim bom bom. That song got really popular on TikTok, and now everyone's like, "How do we get on TikTok and become really popular that way?" Right? Which is kind of an interesting way to do it, but not necessarily the correct way to do it.
Yeah, I don't think I agree with that.
But yeah, so Tony, if I had to pick an anime of the season, it would be Witch Watch. Considering we've only seen half of it, if I couldn't pick Witch Watch because it's technically not finished, I would pick Apocalypse Hotel as the anime of the season. And then I would say generally, if you just want quick recommendations, Witch Watch, Apocalypse Hotel, Kowloon, Generic Romance, and My Hero Academia Vigilantes are really strong shows from this season, and potentially you could be interested in shows like A Ninja and Assassin and Catch Me at the Ballpark, but it depends. They're not as strong as the other, 4 I've recommended.
Okay. So, here's a question.
Yeah.
Would you say it was a strong, middling, or weak season?
There is some shows that I'm also watching that I haven't finished because they are I'm watching the dubbed version. So I'll just say like Aharon-san season 2. I've only seen the first like 9 episodes out of 12 because I'm watching it dubbed because I watched season 1 dubbed. The Apothecary Diary season 2 I think is finished now or will be finishing in Japanese soon. But I've watched 21 out of 24 episodes for the Apothecary Diary season 2, Tony. When you ask about the season, are you asking about new shows? Are you asking about continuing shows? Or are you asking about both? If I'm talking about new shows, I would say it's a little on the weaker side. I think Apothecary Diary season 2 is really fucking good, and it's got to a point where I'm like, yes, let's fucking go. things are happening in Apothecary Diaries season 2, and I'm like, let's fucking go. We're going places.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm still watching the Shinyuji Family Children, Tony, which is the this could be the trash anime of the season.
Which one was that one?
This is the one where there's a brother who lives with 5 sisters.
Oh.
And then one day his dad's like, wait a minute, you're not related to any of these people. You're all adopted. And of course, chaos ensues in anime. I can't believe it's not incest anime, you know? I've actually been really enjoying this. This is good trash.
That sounds like a good setup for trash.
Yeah.
I'll give them that.
But I haven't finished it because I started watching it in dubbed, and I've been continuing in dubbed because like, I don't know if I'll like this, and I'm like, okay, I'll just keep watching the dub. I'm not
sure. Okay, that's interesting.
I've still been watching Vinland Saga. I've watched 6 episodes of Vinland Saga, so I'll talk about Vinland Saga later when I watch more of it, because I feel like it's a show that's going to be a real slow burn, and I can't really talk about it much. But I was like, I'm watching Vinland Saga, everything's coming to an end, and then I don't know if I've talked about this in the podcast, but I think I've talked about this to you before. I got recommended the sound because I listened to YouTube Music. I got recommended the soundtrack to Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt. It was the song "Fly Away" by Teddy Lloyd, and I listened to that song. I was like, "This song is awesome." I wonder, it's part of an album, right? And I was like, "What other songs are on the album?" And I listened to it, and I go on to the next track, and it's Techno Dildo starts playing. It's like Techno Dildo, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on in this album? Why is there like... Oh, Tony, if you want to listen to another wild song, listen to Juice from the Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt soundtrack. Okay. Yeah, it's basically, you know, moans is a main part of that song, and I'm just like, what? It's like you listen to Corset's theme, and you're like, oh, this is a fucking banger, and then you listen to like Juice, and you just get whiplash, and I was just like, what is going on in this anime? Like the soundtrack has so many bangers, and then it's just like, what? So I was like, okay, I have to watch Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt to figure out what the fuck is going on in the soundtrack, because a lot of the songs are really fucking good, and I've watched the first 7 episodes out of 13, so I've watched just over half of it now. And Tony, I think I really fucking love Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt.
Right, okay.
It is so it's an anime of its time. Like, it came out literally 15 years ago now. It came out in 2010. And I was looking into who made it. I was like, who made this? Tony, it's made by Gainax. And if you don't know Gainax, before this, they made Evangelion and Toppen Gurren. They made what are considered to be like some of the most staple, best like anime of all time, and then they made Panty and Stocking, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? This is so different from what you were making before. This is absolutely insane. So Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt is 2 sex-crazed fucking angels are kicked out of heaven for misbehaving, and then they had to be led by a priest called Garter Belt, who makes them go around exterminating demons around the town in order to get heaven coins to buy their way back to heaven.
Right.
But the animation style of this show is all over the place, and I absolutely like the main animation style it looks like what I can only describe as like the Powerpuff Girls or a Saturday morning cartoon, but you would not want to like confuse this with the Saturday morning cartoon, because it's like it goes into like, you know, sex, swearing, foul language, gross stuff. Like it is
adult things.
Yeah. So again, I want to point out, Tony, if I had the ecchi filter on my anime list, I would not be able to see Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt, and I absolutely love this show. Yeah. So, but it is this like comedy, action, like weird, like show, and so you'll go from like Powerpuff Girls to their transformation scene, which plays "Fly Away" by Teddy Lloyd, another fucking banger. And they'll turn into like normal animated anime girls for this like, you know, magical girl transformation scene, sort of like Sailor Moon sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
And they'll play this song, and it's fucking banger. And then they'll blow up the demon, who is the demon of the episode that they need to kill. And then it'll go to like almost like a, you know, like in Power Rangers, they'll have like a model of something, and then they'll blow up the model. So you'll just see like they'll be like, so for example, there'll be like this demon, and then basically their weapons are made. So Panty's weapon is she takes off her panties and it turns into a gun, and Stocking takes off her stockings and they turn into dual swords. And they say her line is "Repent, motherfucker!" And then they shoot the demon, and then they'll go, and it'll cut to like this wide shot of like this miniature model, and then the miniature model will go, "Oh shit!" And then it'll like blow up this miniature model, and it just gets me every single fucking time. I find it hilarious.
So it's an adult Power Ranger slash.
It's like an adult Saturday. It's an adult Saturday morning cartoon. I'm just like,
yeah, that's interesting.
What is like the only thing I can compare it to? Like, did you ever? I vaguely remember. Do you ever remember the show Drawn Together?
I don't recognize the name. No.
That was also like a weird, like, it was very much like a parody cartoon, but with like very much adult vibes. Honestly, I don't remember. I think it was on like E4 or something, maybe in the night. I don't.
Okay, probably didn't watch it then.
Yeah, it's just this, and because I think that came out like before this, but you just don't really get stuff like Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt anymore. Like it just doesn't exist.
No, we used to have quite a few adult cartoon stuff. Now it's like very few. I know. I technically implicitly lumped anime with cartoons. Fight me. But
yeah, so Tony, I started watching this because I was like, I listened to the soundtrack, and I'm like, soundtrack is sick. And then I'm like, okay, I watched it, I was like, this is great. And then I found out like Gainax made it, and I'm like, okay, that's crazy. And I'm like, oh, Gainax has gone bankrupt. They've completely shut down Gainax, so they don't exist anymore. And then I find out that they're making a new Panty and Stocking 15 years later. This is coming out for the summer season of anime. So there's going to be a brand new... Yeah, just 15 years later, they are going to be making a new Panty and Stocking. I'm like, okay, fuck yeah, I'm going to watch this.
That's like my the Nushi sort of thing. It's like, wait, I like this thing. Wait,
yeah, that was also like 14 years later. They made like a new season of it. And I'm like, okay, Gainax is bankrupt. Who's making this? It's being made by Trigger. If you don't know Trigger does Kill la Kill, which is like another show about like people fighting each other with their underwear, for example. And like they also did like Cyberpunk Edge Runners, which is a really like adult, edgy like animation, right? And I'm like, that's perfect. Like, I think if I was going to choose a studio to animate this, Trigger would be a great studio to choose. I don't know if you know this, Tony, but Trigger is actually made up of ex-Gainax staffers. So,
I didn't know
Trigger, like, the people making the new season of Panty and Stocking are ex-people who probably worked on the original Panty and Stocking. I'm like, that's perfect.
I think I said this before. We brought Trigger on the Cyberpunk stuff because you can support them on Patreon. They have a Patreon.
Wait, who has a Patreon?
Trigger.
Trigger has a Patreon. I didn't know this.
I only knew about them because when I don't do like I don't know 5 years ago. It's like,
what the hell?
I followed like some artists and then I got recommended like this like Trigger. Like, who's this Trigger? It's like, wait, they got loads of patrons. They're like big stuff. It's like there's like, oh yeah, we're doing Cyberpunk. What the?
That makes
they're a lot. And now you're telling me like they're like ex
Gainax.
Gainax. Like artists is like that's crazy.
Yeah. But there's one thing I want to say. Oh, because I saw like A1 Pictures just put out that I don't know if you know this because this is something I've been discovering as well. The animation studios who do the animating make like zero money in anime, and like the production company basically takes like 99%, and the animation studio gets 1% and is absolutely fucked. So if you tell me Trigger has a Patreon, I'm like, that makes sense because they're probably making shit all for the most part.
Like genuinely, like if you like Trigger stuff, like and like, do not think they're making lots of money from like like viewing it, like give them some money.
I think I don't know. It might be the case that Trigger is one of the studios that actually has a like some of the studios are better at not abusing their employees than the others.
They could be.
But like one thing I wanted to comment on is A1 Pictures, who's like a big animated studio. They put out recently that their fiscal year for the end of March, they lost 178 million yen. Like the actual animation company, that's 1.2 million US dollars. But they're owned by like Aniplex, who is owned by Sony, who's owned by Crunchyroll. So like,
Yeah.
They are like Sony probably didn't have a loss, but to put this into perspective, Tony, I don't like this show, but A1 Pictures made Solo Leveling Season 2, and that is by far the most popular anime of the year, and they're losing money.
Yeah.
They made Too Many Losing Heroines, one of my favorite animes of last year, and they're losing. It was super popular, and they're losing money. Like, it is crazy the disparity between art animators and the people in the higher ups.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's kind of true for like Hollywood films as well. It's like I feel like people who make it work just don't get as much money or recognition as like the director or producers. It just sucks.
Yeah. Very fortuitous timing because I just randomly started watching Panty and Stocking, and yeah, I'm going to be watching the new season in the summer season now. So
yeah. So, what revelation there?
Yeah, if you're looking for stuff to watch, I would recommend going to My Anime List or something like that, and you can basically just go to seasonal anime, and you can basically look through all the shows and add them to your watch list, and be like, okay, this looks interesting, I'm going to watch this. And you can even filter them to be like, I just want to watch stuff that is comedy. I just want to watch stuff that is romance, for example, right? Like, for me, the big hitters of next season are going to be like Dandadan Season 2 is coming out soon, and I'm very excited for Dandadan. And then Dress Up Darling Season 2 is coming out, which Dress Up Darling is one of my favorite romance animes of all time. Like, absolutely fantastic show. It's about like a man who makes like costumes for these little Hina dolls, and he's really scared that someone's going to find out about them. And basically, this girl discovers that he's making them, and she's like, "That's fucking awesome! I'm a cosplayer. Can you make cosplays for me?" But yeah, lots of awesome stuff coming, and we'll see if this season's stronger. We'll see what I like. We'll see what random shows I watch, and then go, "This is awful. I'm going to drop this." We'll see what random shows I watch, and I go, "What the fuck was that? I want more of that. That was great."
Yeah.
Let's move on because I'm rambling about anime again, and
the anime podcast.
It's the anime. You know what? This used to be a video game podcast, but I did say in the beginning, I did the Inbetween Podcast for video gaming and everything in between.
Yeah. I have not my game to watch anime yet, so I cannot participate fully. But,
like you said, you were thinking about the Apothecary Diary Season 2 is like almost finished in terms of dub. It is finished in sub, so like you could binge watch Season 1 and Season 2 now if you wanted to.
This whole June, like I've been just like I've been like in this really science mood. I've been watching like the documentary and like science. I guess video essays. I know video essays are like more like journalist stuff, but like I'm gonna.
Before we go off the anime topic, I do want to talk about this quickly. Yeah, I have found it interesting because before I was basically just watching seasons of stuff that was finished. So I was just binge watching them, and I know like what Watanabe said like about Lazarus. He was like, "Oh, this show's so much better if you binge watch it rather than watch it weekly." And I feel like there are shows I've enjoyed more because I've been watching them weekly, and some shows I feel like would be better if they were binged instead of weekly watched. But I have been really enjoying the actor being like, okay, it's Wednesday, this show's coming out. It's Friday, this show's coming out. And it's a lot easier to watch stuff when it's just like you watch one episode of it per week and that's it, and then slowly over time you watch it.
I think so. Like for me, like a Game of Thrones, like I really enjoyed like watching that every week. But
Witch Watch every Sunday, I'm so excited for Witch Watch.
Yeah, but at the same time, and here's my take is like, binge watch or not. It's like, well, I thought my personal thing is like they should release up weekly. If you want to binge watch,
they do that sometimes. Watch at the end. Now.
Yeah,
but they record all of it.
But
and then they release it weekly, or they release like 3 episodes and then 3 episodes.
Yeah. I think releasing all at once makes no sense financially. So.
Oh, Tony, I forgot. I've been watching Squid Game season 3. I've watched the first 4 episodes. I'll talk about it next week when I've finished Squid Game season 3. But they've dumped the whole thing, and I don't know. Like, I'm not a big fan of the shit they're doing with Squid Game. I think it's dumb they split it up into 2 parts, but then I think the direction they've gone with Squid Game, I don't like it.
Well, I just feel like you could have a situation where like the first half that they split 2 parts for no reason. The first half is really bad. They packed the end with all the good stuff, but you're simply saying that's not the case. But
no, without spoiling it, there's just some really dumb shit happening. And it feels...
Okay, well, that's the
yeah.
next podcast. Tune in
Yeah.
next time.
Let's talk about trailers. Dead by Daylight is getting a Five Nights at Freddy's crossover. I'm like, that's absolutely... We've come so far from, you know...
Is that ridiculous?
In the grand, they feel very different games, but I guess like Dead by Daylight was this game where it's like, oh my god, they're adding like Jason from Friday the 13th to it.
Yeah.
And now it's been like, you know, I'm trying to think, what's the most ridiculous killer in Dead by Daylight now? There's an original character who is like a K-pop guy who murders people. I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, Chucky's a killer now, isn't he? That's pretty silly.
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous.
Let's have a look.
When they add I've been watching Walk with Dinosaurs that came out this year. If they add T-Rex to Dead by Daylight, that's ridiculous officially.
So they do crossover stuff all the time. Like you can be like the Demogorgon from Stranger Things. There's lots of horror stuff. Cool. So like Freddy, Leatherface, Michael Myers from Austin Powers, Hellraiser, Ghostface Killer from the Wu-Tang Clan, and you know, Pyramid Head. Wesker is a killer.
Wesker, oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I know that Wesker's not meant to be, but in my head, that's my pick for crazy or silliest, maybe.
Yeah.
Killer. Like I just have the scene of like the live action film where he just throws the glasses at Chris. Like,
I love that scene.
What is this scene?
Scene where like the helicopter's crashing his own. He's just like, I'll just jump off it and be fine. Yeah.
I love Wesker, but man, it don't make any sense.
And then we have this is the new trailer for Power Simulator 2 I was talking about, Tony. So what we have confirmed now, we have multi-stage levels. So you're going to be like cleaning something, and then it'll go suddenly once you've finished that section, it'll be like they show like a bus stop that comes up out of the ground once you finish cleaning a certain section.
I guess like I'm thinking like the Warhammer thing that you could have like if they ever do a Warhammer one again, they could have like actual vehicles moving in like an assembly line.
Then they've got the abseil seat where you can like dangle off the side and sit down and clean with that. This is the multi-stage one I was talking about. And then we have like a scissor lift that you can use to clean stuff. We also still got the the brand new decorate your own house stuff, but like a big thing was the floor cleaner is really cool, like the rotating things for the floor. Cleaning floors was always kind of like slow, tedious, and not very interesting in my opinion. So you now have this like a specific tool for cleaning the floor, which is cool, and you can pet the cat and Power Simulator.
So can the scissor lift go anywhere, or is it like fixed like a...
I don't have any details about this. Is just stuff we see in the trailer.
There's no clue in the trailer about like it looked like it.
I don't think I saw a character moving it, but I would guess you would have to allow people to move it in order to finish the job.
I assume so, yeah.
Then we have Bubble Sugar Dungeons, which is... Have you ever played the original Bubble? I'm guessing you probably haven't.
No.
I have weirdly played this on like around a friend's house on like the Wii emulator. You know, like on the Wii you could... on the Wii you had like the old emulation of like NES games and stuff. But, just listening to this game soundtrack, like the remixed version of the Bubble theme, just like brings back memories of playing that. But essentially you like progress through levels and you shoot bubbles at your enemies, and you can also use bubbles to move around. But it seems like the interesting thing was they were doing like a twist on it where they were adding like this. It was almost like this roguelike dungeon sort of thing, it seemed like, which I thought looked pretty interesting. So it's cool to see like a really old game get like a modern twist. So
I think I feel like I don't say we should see more of that, but we see that all the time. That's kind of nice to see that from a smaller game.
Well, I think people were saying for the most part they've just been like, here's Bubble again, but now they've been like, okay, let's do something interesting.
Yeah.
Then we have quick news, Tony. Silent Hill remake by Bloober Team announced. There is another. So the remake of the original Silent Hill game is being remade by Bloober Team because they did the Silent Hill 2 remake.
Yes.
And then they were like, and we're going to make a new Silent Hill game, and we're going to have this. It was like a Resident Evil multiplayer game support studio work on it. And it looks pretty good from the Sony showcase I saw in E3. Sorry, Summer Games Fest thing. S3, yeah. But yeah, but I have played and liked a Bloober Team game. It seems people were pretty positive on Silent Hill 2 remake. So
yeah, I did see something from like I think it's Yahtzee and maybe some other people that like really like Silent Hill. They said like, why didn't they remake 1? Because like most people don't like 1.
Yeah, well, they are now.
Yeah.
Oh, Tony, I think this is something you might have a lot to say about. Nexus Mods has been sold. Have you heard about this?
I don't know the details, but I've heard. Yeah.
So basically, the old owner, after 24 years of running Nexus Mod, has sold the company. My first question, Tony, to you is: does your lifetime Nexus Mod premium download license feel a bit unsafe right now that Nexus Mod's been sold?
Oh yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, this is the problem with all of these things. Like, it's never like what is lifetime. What is like?
Yeah.
If there's like if someone sells a company, like they have to fulfill the contract that was before. I would argue legally it should be a yes, but legally it might not be. It's probably a no. I don't know how that works. I don't know. I'm curious to how the community.
It's not like they've been sold to a company called Chosen, and Chosen is a company focused on growth and monetization of gaming startups.
Yeah.
So that doesn't bode well to me. That seems like, somebody wants to come in and just monetize the fuck out of something in order to try and make a quick profit.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think Robin is the old CEO or the old company owner. Name?
It says Dark One on here. An update from Dark One.
Yeah, I think that's the username, but I can't remember. Tell this had a guess at one point. My opinion is, if you want to sell a company, or you don't want to be in part of a company anymore, and you don't just want the money, right?
Yeah.
Restructure it. Let other people take control of it. Like don't sell it to the highest bidder. So my feeling is they want the money. I can't see it as any other way. Like I can only see it as a cynical buyout. I'm going to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. How do you monetize free modding tools?
So we've got some answers here from Feladiho, the new site owner, saying, let's clear up a few things. Will you sell mods? No. They will always remain free. Will it cost money to download mods? No. Nothing is changing. Will you claim ownership of anything uploaded to Nexus Mod? Nope. That will not change. Will additional monetization be added or changed on the site? Yeah, monetization is like a third-party thing. It's like a complex platform. What matters most is continuing to support mod authors, delight users, and keep the lights on. We're not changing the core model. No aggressive monetization. No paid mods. If anything, we're aiming for fewer ads, not more. We will take a community-first listening approach, and we won't compromise on what makes Nexus Mod special. Yeah. So,
see, I don't have a problem with paying for to have priority access to high speed servers and things and for downloads. I think that's actually pretty reasonable. I do kind of wish there's more of a mod sharing, or mod author sharing scheme or something you could do, but then also supports the Nexus. I do think that Nexus should survive.
They've said lifetime premium means lifetime and it's safe.
Okay,
free accounts will stay free as they are. You have never made a Skyrim mod. How could you possibly understand us? True, we haven't. But neither did Robin. And he built something amazing.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like my opinion is this is very I guess a left-leaning political stance. It's I just feel like why not restructure it to be a cooperative thing? so it's like always employee controlled instead of like selling it off to a for-profit company. Not saying like cultures are
Yeah, I
for-profit
guess
as well,
I guess
but
I
I
guess the
prefer
thing
that
is
system.
that the company had the capital to buy something like Nexus mods because like
Yeah, yeah.
the cost of running a
But that,
website like this must be astronomical.
oh yeah, yeah. But like, but the thing is, like, what normally happens there, like, if you're selling a company, and like you're then like the current board are leaving, like you're technically just buying the board out. Whereas if you're restructuring it, you go, okay, I'm the CEO of this company. I'm just gonna restructure it. I'm not gonna get any extra money from doing this. I'm giving it away to the workers.
And yes, $19 Fortnite card, and
And
yes,
and so
I'm giving
that's
it
this is
away.
why I say before is like I can't see and more of a cynical way of looking at it, where they're getting money, like the old CEO and like executive suite people were like getting money out of it
Hmm.
because you could refuse, but at the same time I don't know what their life status is. Like maybe like I deserve like fine, but I just like as from my perspective, like that would be the most ideal setup since they're always
Yeah.
a cooperative.
I think it is like I think seeing how companies the enshittification of the internet has been happening.
Yes.
This worries me a lot
Yeah.
as Nexus Mod has been like
Yeah.
a bastion of good,
Yeah.
modding practices and an easy place to find mods for stuff. But
I would argue even like when they do stuff that's like slightly controversial, they're at least like trying to do it for the user's benefit or make it like a more streamlined modding experience.
Yeah.
So
yeah, let's go over releases.
yeah, I don't know.
Oh, you gone?
No, I'm just gonna say that's like I feel like the FAQ is like somewhat positive, but like they could do anything still. Like I doesn't mean anything really actionable for what they'll do.
We have Date Everything on releases. This came out on the 17th of June. This is a game about dating everything. You basically go around your house and it makes like a anime like version of that thing. So you'll talk to your dishwasher and then you can date your dishwasher. You talk to your your D20 and your D20 can become something you can date.
I thought it was gonna be like a play on words, but it's like it pretends you're gonna do that, but then all you do is like you put like a sticker on it that you put a date on every item.
This seems like one of those, funny gag games where it's like, let's make you be able to date everything. I think it seems like very on the nose, like funny. The one thing I did find really funny was there was like a premium DLC which adds like, premium-ish premium-ish stuff, like there's a new character called Mikey Transaction, which you can date if you have the DLC.
Okay, interesting.
Which I thought was pretty funny.
That's an expensive DLC, though. Okay.
It's the lavish DLC. I mean, you gotta.
Yeah, I know, but it's not a joke if it does cost.
Another thing about this game I should mention, Tony, is basically I think the guy who made this game was like a voice actor, so like a lot of the characters are done by like big professional voice actors.
Oh, okay. So like you guys like networked like friends.
Yeah.
So sort of
Yeah.
Fill it in. That's kind of cool. Hopefully they get good returns on that, like good contracts on
like somebody said on the DLC, you want to date the voice of Ash Ketchum, this is your chance. This DLC made me laugh so hard.
That's insane. Okay, well, it's on my list. That's not something to say.
Yeah.
You got me. I need to resubscribe. Hold on.
Oh, woo, there it is, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Rematch has come out. Yeah, Tones at RT with the 25 months. They're over 2 years now.
So
You'd love to see it.
I'm just censoring some football. Give me a second.
Oh, well, Tony, Rematch has come out. I played both the betas. I was like, this game is really fucking fun. And I've bought the game, and I have spent 0 hours in the game, not because I don't like the game, but it came out in the middle of the fucking June. And again, it came out when after the Switch 2 launched in the middle of summer.
Yeah.
When I'm just
I was gonna say, summer and Nintendo season.
Yeah. But I will play it, and I want to play more Rematch. But
well, I
Rematch
that,
is really
actually.
fun.
I would say not good, but technically you bought it and not like using their servers. So if anything, like it's the most ideal situation.
This is how I
For
support
what you
slow
did.
clap. You know.
Yeah,
Well, I use their servers a lot because I played both the
yeah,
betas, and I was like, "This is like Rocket League without the cars," you know.
yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's a good way to describe it. I
People
think.
are liking it as well, and it seems like they've been selling a lot of copies as well, which is cool to see. So there is a
That's
good.
nice.
Let's have a. There's like almost 50K people playing right now, so that
I
like
can't.
the game is active, which is nice to see.
I can't wait in like 6 years' time get sold to Epic and go free to play.
Yeah. Then we have. Hang on, I wrote down the name for this because I don't read. Traditional
Okay,
Chinese.
well, you translated it.
Beauty, please don't distract me from becoming immortal.
Okay, what?
You, Li Fan, the only male cultivator of the Crane illusion sect, was supposed to be the chosen son of the cultivation world until you realized that the real crossing tribulation was not thunder punishment, but 1,000 tribulations with the sect's young ladies and sisters. I mean, immediately that gets me interested in playing the
What?
game. Um,
Gets you pumped.
one of the reasons I was like, I saw this and I was like, oh, it's a new Asian dating FMV. I should check it out. And I'm like, wait. I looked at I think it was the developer. They make a game that I already own but have yet to play yet. They make a Knowledge or No Lady, which is one of the really highly rated Chinese FMV
Okay.
games that I haven't
Yeah.
played yet. So I was like, oh, okay, there's another game from them. So I wanted to see if people like this game. I think it's also got English subtitles already because some of these games come out and it's just only in Chinese and there's no way to figure out what the hell's going on with English subtitles.
And sometimes they come out with English subtitles that make no sense.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm already in now. Senior Sister Lan Uroy, Cold and Gorgeous Whip Master. I mean, if that's not enough to get you interested in the game, I don't know what will be.
You know what? I'm glad these exist. I think I don't know.
Are you interested in the
I'm glad
Asian
they're
dating
popping up.
FMV games, Tony? Or are you sticking to your anime dating games?
I think the anime thing, like the thing is, like if I'm gonna buy a dating game at this point, like I need like different mechanical stuff.
I'll let you cook, but there is something I just remembered.
No, you go because
I was just gonna say because I played Persona last year and I was like, this is kind of set up like a dating sim. And then like I've played these Asian dating FMVs and I'm like, oh, this is like a dating sim. And then I've been playing Animal Crossing lately and I've been like, Animal Crossing is kind of set up in similar ways to a dating sim where it's very much about like building relationships with characters and giving them gifts.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, this is very like almost like dating sim coded sort of thing.
I would love a island FMV Asian dating island.
You're talking about the fighting game Dead or Alive,
yeah.
Which now exists solely as a Asian island gift giving game.
I own 5 and 6. I haven't played them yet.
Right. Okay.
Well, I think I'll let them up.
I think a lot of like the Dead or Alive island games have not actually been localized to the West, so
no.
I'd
have to
import them.
I think it's mods for them though.
Right.
I'll double check.
Anyway, I don't know if you remember what you were going to say, but I was going to read some reviews.
No, go for it. I know. I'm just saying, like, I want more mechanical stuff. Like, I've experienced like the anime thing when like I've kind of gone that I don't want to play like the simple ones, like just like the pictures or the video sort of thing. That's not enough for me anymore. Like obviously I like that.
You've ascended to a higher, higher being now.
Yeah, like I want. Yeah, I want the beautiful women and the mechanics.
I'm just reading this game from Johanna Watonka, who said this game ungame me 10 out of 10.
What? I don't let a catchy game on.
Man, just the little bit of I've played, while dialogue was cheesy, it's 10 out of 10 perfection. It's the type of thing I live for, and even just the little I've played actually excites me for the rest. In fact, I now actually feel like buying the other game in this series. Here's hoping the rest of it is just as solid. Better than the first.
Like,
English sub sucks. Please fix from Basher here. Ooh. Even with some problem with subtitles and side story, this game is still very enjoyable. The girls are lovable and the scene scripts are good. Let's have a look if they've done any updates to the.
I mean, localization is difficult, right?
Fix some known spelling errors. It seems like they have done at least a little bit of work on yesterday on changing some of the localization. Oh, Tony, the Persona 5 gacha game came out on Steam. I think it was like a mobile exclusive, or it was like maybe even like Asia exclusive for a long time.
So
but
why are they bringing it to Steam?
I guess they're hoping people will be like, there's a new Persona game, let's play it. I don't know. Like, it's mostly positive, but it's like 68% mostly positive. So it feels like the least amount of points you could have to still be mostly positive, right? What is the threshold?
I think it's like 60. I thought it's 10%. I think 90% is overwhelming.
Right.
80 is very 70. I thought 70.
Also, I'm reading the SteamDB rating. It's mostly positive, with 70% of this game's reviews are positive, whereas the SteamDB rating is 68%. I'm wondering if there's if it's worth playing this as a Persona game if you refuse to buy gacha mechanics. Let's have a look.
Yeah.
Persona 5X has some redeeming qualities, but even as a hardcore Persona fan, if you're not already preconditioned to tolerating gacha games, you'll have to force yourself to ignore every issue that plagues the game so you can enjoy it. P5X in every single way is an inferior product compared to real Atlus games that should be expected when it's free-to-play label. But the lack of quality control and polish in this game is just embarrassing to Atlus as a developer. With such a great track record, I really have to wonder if the money they'll make off of Wales is enough to make them not regret licensing the IP to Black Wings.
Oh, Wales. Sorry, I thought you were like people from
country.
Wales. Why? Yeah, well, how are they getting money off Wales?
So who's Black Wings? They make a lot of gacha games. They're headquartered in China. Oh, yeah, so they do this Persona game. And they're a subsidiary of Perfect World Games. I've heard of Perfect World Games, another Chinese studio, I'm fairly sure.
Yeah, and my publisher.
Right, okay. Is it worth me playing this? Seems like probably not. I've got to be honest with you.
That's what I mean. There's like, sure, I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed. Like, I feel like there should be as many positive reviews, but I'm very anti.
People like gacha games.
Yeah.
That is one thing I found. People like going on and spending money on games. Like,
yeah, do not understand.
There's a different, like, they were talking about this gacha games on I've completely blanked the anime podcast, Trash Taste, and they were talking about how, like, in the West, when it comes to gacha games, you almost try and spend as little money as possible and just try and get away with being free to play. And then you have whales who spend a bunch of money. But in Japan, they like, when they come to a game, they're like, okay, we want to spend as much money as possible in order to like support the devs and be like, we appreciate you making this game and I'm going to put a bunch of money up front. And it's like a way of like saying, this is me supporting you. And like they see buying things as a way to do that. But it's like, because if you think
of developers and publishers and if we're talking about indie developers, then sure, but
well, they were saying like when it comes to pay to win stuff, you can like go and work 100 hours to get the money to in order to buy your way through that, you know, that 100 hours of content that you would otherwise have to play through as free to play sort of thing. It kind of does add up sometimes, where you can basically
if the game didn't make the game for fun,
but I don't know. I'm not interested in playing gacha games, but I thought, you know,
I think there's some
is there an Atlus game in there?
And I feel like I need to like kind of check some of their assumptions. Not that I'm like checking them now either, but I just feel like none of that is like 100% true. Like what they're assuming there.
I think it's an interesting discussion to have. Like, where do you draw the line
Sure.
between microtransaction and supporting the dev? Like, sometimes I like buying DLC for games to be like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna support the dev,
Yeah.
and I want to play more content. I might want skins for my characters, right?
100%. I don't have a problem with that, but it's like, I don't know. But imagine like you buy an EA game, and it's like, oh, I'm going to support the dev. Oh, we shut the dev team down. It's like, are you supporting the dev team at that point?
You support an EA CEO. I think he just got
I don't know.
I think EA CEO just got a massive raise, by the way.
Yeah, but I don't. I feel like Japanese companies and developers and like publishing deals are going to be very similar, if not incredibly similar by design. And I just feel like, are you actually supporting the devs, or are you just giving like shareholders and executives lots of money? I don't believe you're supporting.
Let's keep going. Let's keep going, Tony, because we're running out of time. System Shock 2 25th anniversary remaster. We got the Night Dive port of System Shock 2, and it seems very positive from what I've seen. People are like, it is the Night Dive treatment of one of the best immersive sim games of all time. I think it looks really cool, and it's cool that they've done their like enhanced edition of the first one. They've done their own like full remake of the first one, and they're now doing their like Night Dive enhanced treatment on the second game for the 25th anniversary as well. I'm interested to play this, but I also need to play the first System Shock as well. So play that at some point. Let's move on to quick news. I said announcements as quick news. That's fine. This is quick news. Steam has put a new in-game overlay performance monitor into Steam Beta. I don't know if you've seen this, but it looks...
No.
It reminds me very much of the aesthetic of Manjaro HUD, if you've ever used the in-game overlay for the Steam Deck, which is a Linux-based FPS counter and monitor.
Okay.
But it seems like they're doing their own thing. One cool thing they've done, Tony, is they now like split up your frames based on how many frames are generated by the game and how many frames are generated by like DLSS or
that's nice.
frame generation.
They've got like frame pacing, like sort of little graph.
Yeah,
as well,
frame
right?
pacing health.
That's
They
really
have
good.
CPU utilization, GPU utilization.
Yeah, that's
RAM
great.
utilization. It's going to help you like figure out how stuff works.
I've discovered like Steam like tools and utilities, like just having that accessible just means that it makes it so much easier to across the board
because like
dial stuff in.
The Steam overlay had like that static number you could put up in the corner that would show you FPS, and I would use that all the time. I found that really useful because I would play most games on Steam, but okay, this feels a bit bad. I have it turned off recently because I have an OLED monitor, so I don't want static things on my screen. So I was using the NVIDIA overlay one, which does kind of break stuff down by this is how much GPU it's using, this is how much CPU it's using, this is how much system resources it's using, which is really cool. But it's inconsistent. It just breaks constantly. Like it doesn't work half the time. So that was really annoying. But
like not a number sort of problem.
One thing cool about this, because one of my biggest gripes with the Steam one was you couldn't turn it on and off. You would have to every time go Shift Tab, turn it on, Shift Tab, turn it off to finish it.
I wish you just like
and apparently,
even like a hold key would be so good.
Because this is in Steam Beta, so this is not in the full Steam release now. You basically would have to do that now, and apparently in their first round of feedback, it was requested to add a hotkey to be added to enable and disable the performance overlay, and that has been added.
Nice.
So I will be using this when it comes to stable because this looks fucking awesome.
Because like, I just like you launch a new game, I just want to have this on by default, and then I can turn it off later. Because like you need to use it to like dial into settings.
Yeah. Yeah. And then next up, Tony, we have retro emulation news. Mario Kart 64 has an unofficial PC port now. We have, if you want to, it is. I like how it's under the Harbor. I don't know if you know, Harbor Masters is like the Ship of Harkanian, which does the Ship of Harkanian is the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time's PC port's name, but they have names for everything. So like Starship is the name of the Star Fox 64 PC port. But for this one,
Starship.
The name of the Mario Kart 64 PC port is called Spaghetti Kart.
That's so
And
good.
their alphas are called Alfredo Alpha, as in the the dente of the pasta.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh god, that's so fantastic.
I will be in. I'll keep an eye on this and see when this comes a bit later, and maybe
Can,
I'll play this. This
can I
looks
get
awesome.
spaghetti reskin of every character?
Yeah, well, you'll be able to add textures and remodel. You'll be able
That
to
is true. That
spaghetti
is true.
textures,
Just mod
HD
it.
textures. It's got a PC port now.
HD spaghetti RTX textures. That's
you
good.
can add as much pasta as you want to Mario 64. Mario Kart
that should
64.
be a quote for the box. That should be a quote for the box.
Yeah. And let's move on to the final news of the podcast. And we have the Donkey Kongu news.
Donkey Kong. Oh, right, no, okay.
Yeah.
Kongu.
Well, I don't know if you. I don't know if you saw the Donkey Kong Direct.
No, I don't.
So the big reveal is they've shown us this Odd Rock character. Who's going to be your companion, and then they did this big reveal, being like, actually, Odd Rock is young Pauline. If you don't know,
What?
Pauline is the in Jumpman, where you jump up and down and Donkey Kong's throwing barrels at you. Most people assume the woman at the top is Princess Peach. She's not. She's Pauline. And that deep lore has gone into in Super Mario Odyssey, where she has become the mayor of New Donk City, and it goes into her like flashbacks of her past of being with Donkey Kong. But then the canon of Super Mario Odyssey is making less and less sense to me, because she was captured by Donkey Kong, but now she was friends with him as a 13-year-old child. I don't know if they're going to try and tie this in, or if this is a different Donkey Kong, but I'm obviously don't really give a shit about the canon lore of Donkey Kong and Mario, so...
No, this is very important, this adds up.
But yeah, Pauline can sing to solve puzzles and do attacks. So she is like this game's Cappy. Every time I see this game, I'm like, this is so Mario Odyssey team working on this. This feels very much like Mario Odyssey. So Pauline will be the little bro experience for player 2. So like in Mario Odyssey, you could have somebody just play as the Cap, and they would like move around. You could jump on top of them. What they're doing for 2-player in this game is you can stream the player 2 experience to a Switch 1, and they can play on their own screen as Pauline, which is pretty cool to see. And she can like attack enemies by shouting out like songs like "ah," and then she can also like change the properties of items. She can like shout at gold, and then she can turn things into gold and stuff like that. It seems pretty cool. It almost reminds me of like shooting star bits as player 2. Like when I played Super Mario Galaxy originally on the Wii, I was showing it to my dad, and I was like, "Oh, there's a player 2 option," and I was playing Super Mario Galaxy, and he was slowly shooting star bits at Goombas. That's the player 2 experience of Super Mario Galaxy.
I mean, I'm glad it exists, but yeah, maybe it could be a little bit more.
But yeah, that I always call them little bro experiences, because it's very much just like I can give this controller to him and he won't fuck it up too much because he can't really do anything.
Experiences.
Yeah. But I love, like, it almost feels like Tears of the Kingdom, where they're going with like the procedural generation, well, not procedural, but like the terrain deformation and the physics they're going for, which feels really cool. But basically the story is Pauline is working with Kong to get to the center layer of the banana mine, because in the center of the banana mine, there's a magical banana that will grant one wish. And she wants a wish for some reason, so I guess we're going to figure that out. Now, Tony, a lot.
We'll discover it in the game.
Again, I want to say, a lot of people are talking shit on my boy Diddy. Oh, Diddy's not going to be in this game. They wouldn't put Diddy in. He's been cancelled.
They wouldn't dare put Diddy after the scandal.
Diddy is confirmed to be in this game, Diddy haters. He's back. We've also seen Trixie Kong, we've seen Cranky Kong, even Rambi the Rhino is in this game. Did I know who the fuck? Did I know the Rhino had a name before I saw this trailer? No, but Rambi the Rhino is in the game, and you can ride on him.
I know who the Rhino is.
Yeah, I've been playing Donkey Kong Country Returns on the Switch 1, and I've been like, I didn't know he had a name. I thought he was just a random rhino. I didn't know he was this game's Yoshi. Like,
okay.
But yeah, they've shown off more of the game. So you get these banana power-ups, Tony, and the banana power-ups can turn you into like supercharged elements versions of like the Donkey Kong, but it's almost, you know, like when they released Super Mario Wonder, they did like, and now you can be Elephant Mario. They're doing that
Yeah,
with
yeah,
this, where they're
yeah.
like, and now
Oh, nice.
you can turn into a fucking zebra that can like sprint really fast, or you can turn into like a bird. You turn into like a giant bird, and you can like fly across the scenery. And you have these bars you fill up, and you can combo them together. So you can like, I like Mario Odyssey is one of my favorite games for like movement tech and like comboing movement tech together. So you could potentially like smash through a wall as like the powerful Kong. I think he's called Kong Bonanza. Then you could like start sprinting as the zebra, jump off a cliff, turn into a bird, and then glide across. I love the open world,
Okay.
like free roam direction Nintendo's going with like
Yeah.
their more platforming focused games, and I'm all for it. So really
Yeah,
excited to see more of this stuff.
I'm actually glad that
Um,
like kind of they're actually innovating open world stuff with like their unique
yeah,
take on it.
and you will unlock the banana powers by, I think each layer will have like an elder that will teach you the banana power up of that layer, and I guess you'll have a boss fight or something. They also showed off course challenges, so there will be like more 2D sections. So like, you know, like
Oh,
in
okay.
Donkey Kong Country, there's those sections with like the DK barrels, or there's the minecart sections. Those are going to be in this game as well, which is really really cool to see. So there will be like more 2D Kong stuff as well. Um, there's
Yeah.
cosmetics that will change colors and clothes, but they will also have stats to them as well. Oh, here's Rambi the Rhino and Cranky Kong. So like you can wear clothes that will specific like make you look like you're wearing like a wetsuit or something, but they will make you move faster in mud. Or like one of the stats I saw was this set will make you swim faster. So like they're not just like purely cosmetic; they also change kind of how you play through different layers, right? Um, and of course, cosmetic means there is also amiibo support for this game, Tony. Um,
Oh, thank God! I didn't
there
want
is a
to forget
brand
about
new
that
Donkey Kong
mechanic.
amiibo that is coming out with this game.
How much
Um,
are the
they're
amiibos?
fucking. I
I
dare
just,
not get into amiibos. They're so
I don't,
expensive.
yeah, I don't like.
You can just get like NFC scanners and basically just take the codes of an
That's
amiibo if you
true.
want. If you didn't want the
Yeah,
model.
that is
Um,
true. Like it's pretty simple to do that. So I
hmm.
think you can't even on the phone do that.
I just ignore fucking amiibo stuff.
Yeah.
They never go and you have to do this to unlock this, but like,
No, no. I just think you could do cool stuff with like real world stuff.
but
Maybe like
I've
it
been
with the game's the wrong way to do it,
I've
but
been playing like Animal Crossing. It's been like, oh, you can take photos at this photo studio, and if you
yeah.
scan the amiibo of a villager, you can get them to show up as a model. If you have that amiibo, or if you want a specific villager to come to your island, you can scan that amiibo, and that villager will come. For example, I think, which is interesting.
Yeah.
My island in Animal Crossing is called Gooner Island, so I think I have to get Anchor to come to my island. I think I'm like contractually obligated to get her over there. I think that's what has to happen. But you know, oh, there's a tech tree in this game. Um,
What? Okay.
there's a tech tree to upgrade stuff, and there's skills from collecting big bananas. So like the tech tree was like,
So you collect star equivalent and then use it to unlock skills.
yeah, you could be like, this will give you more health, but there's also stuff like it'll give you
Yeah.
a brand new move, so you can like do like a roll jump or something like that, for example, right?
Oh, okay.
Um, there's also DK artist mode, which is using the new mouse mode that is essentially like, it's almost like a VR sculpting thing is the best way I could describe it to. You're basically like you're using the mouse to like sculpt the 3D model and just like pull out and
Oh,
draw stuff with it.
yeah,
It looks
yeah,
pretty
yeah, yeah.
cool. I mean, I'm not going to be able to do anything interesting with this because I'm an awful artist, but it feels like a good use of mouse mode. Oh, and in the open world stuff, you can like pick up sand and use it to create platforms to climb on.
Yeah, I saw
And
that earlier in the
yeah,
video.
and you can different materials have different properties and uses. So
Yeah.
like, and my question is Donkey Kong an immersive sim? That's the question I'm asking.
It's it. Yeah, maybe.
Mm. But yeah, I think this looks really fucking cool. And it seems like there are a lot of like challenge mode stuff where it's not just, oh, you can just smash through everything. You kind of have to think about items more and do like more strategic platforming for people who want more like purposeful platforming stuff. So yeah, this game's coming out in a couple weeks now, I think. Yeah, so I've got it pre-ordered from Argos, so I'm getting my cart delivered.
Oh, you're Argos pre-order again.
Yeah.
Good old Argos.
Yeah. It was cheaper that way because they were doing a thing on like your orders over £60, you get like £10 off. And I was like, well, if I order a Switch game, I get £10 off. It's actually cheaper for me to buy the physical edition of Donkey Kong 2 than it was to buy it off the eShop.
Yeah.
For that one game, which is cool. So I'll have a Switch 2 cart because I've been playing the virtual game cart stuff, and I'll be like, yeah, this is just so much easier just to download the games. I'm not a big physical collector, so I'll probably I think I'm mostly just gonna be like a digital collection for my Switch 2. I'm not really bothered about the carts.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
But yeah, that was. I wanted to point out, like, this is a direct specifically about Donkey Kong, and they did one about Mario Kart before, and it was kind of disappointing, but this was awesome. This was a really, really cool direct, like, specifically about one game. And I'm hope if they're going to do, like, one game ones, they put as, like, this was just jam-packed with information. Yeah. That was really, really well done. I felt like.
Explain the whole thing, yeah.
But yeah. We also got another announcement that Super Mario Strikers, the GameCube football game, is coming to the GameCube emulator on the Switch. So it's coming the 3rd of July, so that's like, what, a couple of days from now. And I think the original had widescreen, so this game will have widescreen. I don't actually know because I never owned a GameCube. I was thinking the other day, other than the Wii, I've pretty much only ever owned handheld Nintendo consoles. Like I had a Game Boy, a DS, and Switches. That I've just never had the home console really, other than the Wii, of course. So I have no nostalgia for GameCube games, but I might give this a go and just see what it's like. Because I've got the Switch Strikers game as well, so maybe I'll compare the two. Like it's just like I haven't even touched like F-Zero in the GameCube, and that's something I wanted to try. But it's just like I already have so much shit that I want to play on the Switch. That's pretty cool to see. And then, apparently games that originally supported local multiplayer, you can play online against people on your friends list. So, like, for example, if you've got a friend with Nintendo Switch Online who has a Switch 2, you can be like, you want to play some Mario Strikers? You can just play against each other online, which is really, really cool. And I know, like, with Zelda 4 Sword, you can just, like, invite your friends and play, like, 4-player online co-op. And then we have like specifically for the F-Zero emulation, you can just queue up with random people on multiplayer, which is really cool. And I hope they do more stuff like that, because I think that will add value past just emulating this on your own home PC, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't talk about this. We're talking about Nintendo stuff. Tony, they sent out a survey for Switch 2 owners, and they were like, do I want to answer? So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll talk about the Switch 2. And one of the questions they asked me was really interesting. They were like, what other consoles do you own? And they specifically asked, on the list, they had like, do you own an Xbox, do you own a PlayStation? They were like, do you own a gaming PC? But they also specifically said, do you own a Steam Deck? Like, they specifically wanted to know if I owned... Yeah, and I think they also might have...
What?
They were asking about the ROG Ally. Like, they've been like, are people buying these other gaming handhelds? What's going on here? So I thought that was pretty interesting that they specifically called out the Steam Deck in their survey.
They're like, they're starting that feed. Like, we've heard of this Steam Deck and thing. Like,
yes, what is this Steam Deck? Well, they had like a section where you could write stuff, and I pretty much just said like, I would love it if you released your games on PC, basically. But like Nintendo's never going to read that, so it doesn't matter.
No.
Drag X Drive has got a release date now. It's coming out August 14th. This is the wheelchair basketball game, which uses the mouse mode, like wheelchair controls, for lack of a better word.
Oh,
Like the ski controls, I guess you could say.
This one, the review, like early reviews, that like be tiring on your hands.
It was fun, and then you get really tired, and then you're like, okay. I feel like that's what people say about ARMS, and I haven't played ARMS yet.
Yeah.
But I have it now, so I do want to give it a go. But yeah, this is gonna. I think the price is right on this one because it's 3v3 multiplayer mostly. I don't think there's going to be a story mode, but it's going to cost £15. So I think that's probably like a right place for like a multiplayer.
Yeah, it's around about the right. It's maybe a bit funny for what I'm thinking, but
I mean, it can't be as bad as Welcome to Nintendo Switch 2 toy.
Oh god,
that cost £8,
no.
Tony. I mean, this is price is expensive.
Yeah, but that's infinitely too much money. So.
And then we have apparently Nintendo Switch 2 game Drag X Drive appears to not support local multiplayer. Which is kind of a bummer, but I guess because it says it can support up to 12 players online. But can only play by one player per console. But I guess that might make sense if you only have one pair of Joy-Cons, like most people will. But I guess if you don't.
At least you can.
I'm guessing if there's not a launcher way to play with like a standard Pro controller, they probably will add that later down the line. Because I think ARMS lets you play with like a Pro controller rather than using the waggle-tastic moves.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see with Drag X Drive. It feels like they very much were like, hey, mouse mode stuff, and then they just kind of swept this under the rug. And they were like, Mario Kart! And then they were like, oh yeah, maybe we should add a release date for this. It's coming out in August. Fast Fusion's update's out now. I talked about this, right? I said I'd use the pure mode. And
we did it early.
But yeah. That's the end of the podcast, Tony. Peter Molydeux tweets.
The anime podcast.
The anime podcast, yeah. The Nintendo anime podcast.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Peter Molyneux, I had to make the difficult decision today to lay off the entire studio after playtesters said our game was too good. We'll start again with a new team to help avoid creating a mainstream game. That's so like the idea that Peter Molyneux would make a game that was too good, and he'd be like, "Right, we're not thinking outside the box. Then we're making just your bog standard game. We got to start again."
Is that one to Project Milo? It was too good.
It was too good, yeah. But yeah, that's the end of the podcast. You can check us out youtube.com/@everythinginbetween_podcast if you want to watch the VODs and Tangerine and Spotlight. Twitch.tv/Scorn if you want to watch live, and shows.cast.com/everything-inbetween-podcast. There'll be links to the audio only version, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.